Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another I Try painting. It's another series of Leah Tries Painting. Right, so I've split this 100% cotton piece of paper, which, you know, don't be afraid to use the things you've got. I've ordered it, I want to play with it. I've split it into 4 different segments because I'm going to try some different techniques. I want to try some blending. I want to try some transitional shades, if that's what you even call it. I'd like to try some wet on wet. So there's lots of different things that I want to try, and I want to try it with my little palette here. So I thought I would take you along for that ride. And if you are new here, then my name's Leah. I've been on YouTube for a really long time, but just doing so many other things. So if you go back, you're going to see that it's been makeup, it's been fashion, it's been budget, it's been, well, everything. But it is my space on the internet. So my space, whoa, showing my age. But it is my space on the internet, and I would do what I want to with it. And this is what I want to do at the moment. I'm taking you on a journey of discovery, are we going to say? Where I'm trying out paints and watercolours in particular. I've never done it before, so this is a bit of an interesting journey. So let's go. So first of all, I'm going to go with this brush. I'm just going to soften it up a bit because when it came, the bristles, so these were really cheap. They were actually, well, they're £9.99 at the moment on Amazon. They are natural bristles. Ooh. But there are bristles coming off, I've noticed. Even here, there's some on the page, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, that's frustrating. Ah, come on, off you come. They do hold water, which I guess hair would, wouldn't it? So I've got myself a clean and a one for thingies. There seems to be lots of stuff coming off this. So I've wet that one. Oh, the hairs are coming off these brushes. They were cheap, so I guess that's my own fault. Buy cheap, buy twice. Oh my gosh. How do we get this off? I've just got my fingers all over the paper now, which is probably not good. Right, okay, so I can't see the wet, but hey ho. I'm going to take this large round brush. I'm going to wet my brush first. And I think I'm going to try and do a lovely sunset. I say a lovely sunset. I'm not entirely sure if that's what's going to happen. I'm going to start with this reddish colour here. Reddish. It's like an orange. It's a reddy orange. Oh, all of the hairs are coming off these brushes. That's really frustrating. Anyway, so we'll start up here and we will... Oh, that feels nice. So I'm just going to do long strokes. There's a lot of water in this brush, which hopefully means it will hold a lot of paint. Let's do a bit of a... Let's do it to there. So as we know, if it's, you know, there's a lot of paint in here. Look, as I go down, it's really holding into this brush. Oh, that feels really nice. Oh, I like that. If you want to, I'm assuming if you want bolder colour, oh, you can go in and then just, yeah, add a bit more colour into the areas you want more colour. Okay, that's looking very nice. I'm just going to clean that brush. It does hold on to a lot of colour, this does, because I feel like when I clean it, there's still some in the clean part. Okay, so I want to really wet this yellow. And I want to see how... I'm going to start from this way and go... No, I'm going to start... No. Let's do this. Let's just place it here. So the paper is 100% cotton, and that is a good thing, I guess. So they tell me, because it soaks up a load of water, and then hopefully it's not gonna, I can see it already sort of bubbling though. I don't know, anybody tell me? It wasn't the most expensive, so maybe that's why. I really want quite a lot of colour here. And I want to see it blend together. I've heard that they blend if you make sure you keep the top one wet. That's what I've heard. Who knows? I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to clean my brush off, because actually what I want to do is not add more colour. I want to, that's it, I want to make this just a little bit less. I don't want too much colour here. I want to, there we go. That looks pretty. That's good, isn't it? I just wiped it there. Okay, there's quite a lot of texture in here. There's not a lot of saturation in that top bit, so let me add a bit more, I think. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, why not? The colour, when I say, I mean opacity really, rather than saturation. There we go. Next bit more. Right, I just want to, I'll work that up into here. I don't want it pooling, so I want to maybe, that's now lifting that orange, isn't it? Maybe I shouldn't have added it, because that's, it doesn't feel like it's blending as well. Is that, but that's okay, isn't it? I don't know. Let's have a look. This is a thing, you need something to dry it all, don't you? Like, also that's made a bit of a line here, so I need to, I want to blend it out a bit, so it's not a line. I want it to be more of a gradient. Still a line, still a line. How do we stop that? Oh no, maybe it is blending a bit better. So I've tried it wet on wet, and what I want to do is try it a bit drier. Now what I haven't done, which I probably should have done, oh no. What I haven't done is got myself a bit of tissue paper. So I will do. Wait there. Wait there. You're not going anywhere. And we're back with tissue paper. So I'm actually going to dry this off a little bit, because I want to soak up some of this. I don't want to lift it. I just, yeah, okay, well that's okay. Let me just clean that off, and then we are going to not do wet on wet. Let's do it dark, do it a bit darker. We'll start sort of with a lighter blue down into a darker. Do it that way, I think. This brush is weird, it feels weird. I'm going to use a different brush as well, because that's the first time I've used that one. I'm going to use this one, which is like a flat, it's not very flat, but it's like a flat brush. I don't know how I would call it, what would you call it? Because I would call it something else, I think. I should have put that in the clean water as well, but hey ho, we are where we are. Just getting used to this 2-water system. Right, so I'm going to start off with the blue, with the lighter blue, because I want to see what it's like when it goes on to dry. Okay. Okay, let's have a... Oh, I've got company apparently. Wait there. It's really sheer, isn't it? Like, I don't know, it feels really sheer. Sorry, if you can hear my chair and stuff, it's because every time I have to stop and start the video, which I do manually, it's on my phone, I have to get up off my chair and etc, etc. So, right, so the paint's wet, but the paper's not wet here. So let's give that a go. So I feel like this is much more sheerer than I thought it would be. There's not a lot of colour. Should there be? Should I be expecting that? So I want to put that light blue down first. Whoops. Hold on. And I want to do it all over the page. Let's put that down first. Maybe I've wet the paint too much. I really want to bring it all over the page, but I don't want to do it. Well, that looks really nice. If you, so how does one gradient it more? She says gradient, is that the word? I want to bring it all the way down the page. Yeah, that's it. So I don't add any more paint here. I just maybe use a bit of water. Maybe that's what you do. Yeah, I feel like that's what you do. Let's use a bit of water. That's it. So it makes it more sheer. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, I like that. So I think I prefer the method of wet on dry rather than wet on wet. I feel like wet on wet always gives me this sort of ballooned approach. Oh, that was clever. Is it better to mix? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So I feel like that looks really nice as it is. I was going to use a dark colour. I might just use a dark colour on the lower one. Yeah, I'm going to use the dark blue here. So let's go for that, shall we? Right, dark blue. It's almost like an indigo. Maybe not. It looks indigo in the pan. Right, let's go dark. It's not very dark. Am I missing something? Am I adding too much water? Like, you can't actually get any pigment unless you wet it. This is all great for me for practice because I didn't know what happens when this is all very new. Let's have a look. I have to admit, big brushes, I want quite an even colour on here, I think. Big brushes are not very easy to use in these little half pans. So something to note is if you want to use a big brush, maybe get some bigger pans. Right, yeah, this is an even colour. If I keep going like this, I can get it even. Now I want to build that up, so I'm assuming I'm going to have to let that dry a little, or do I just go over the top when it's semi-dry? Somebody needs to, how can somebody tell me? They're not going to be able to tell me, are they? Right, so that's pretty even wash all over. Oh no, I shouldn't go the opposite way, should I? It's like, right, here we go. Right to the edges, Leah. You've got the tape down. Right, that's pretty even. It's not too much of a wash. Right, next up, I want to do green. I've been desperate to get in these green. I love the green. And I want to go for a light green. And I really like the ochre colour. I like these earthy tones down the bottom here. I really do. So, but I'm going to do a wet and wet. Let's wet the page. Let's wet the page. Do wet and wet again. I'm going to do it a little bit different than I did before. So let's really wet this. And then, oh, this is exciting. Let's go into this green. Wow. Okay, that's decent colour. I guess this is all trial and error for me. I feel like wet on wet gives you this sheer colour. I want to do here like this. do a really like, I'm hoping that something will dry as well by the time I've done these bits. Now, you could, oh, there's another hair. Look, there's two of them. There's two of them. Bloody hairs. I'm just not going to be able to get that off, am I? It's just going to be in my painting. There we go. There's one. There's the other. Okay, well, that worked. So what I really want is to have a really interesting colour here. A bit of green over here. I really want to saturate it. I want to get it really, really dark. But you can't, can you do that? Maybe you can. This seems to be going darker. So I'm going there. I'm just adding more paint and more paint. But it's pooling. It's doing that thing that I was saying. But it seems to be, it looks nice, actually. Oh, I've gone in the wrong bloody pot. What a wally. Right, I quite like that. That looks really nice. So I'm going to go with the other green. It's more of a teal. It's not a green, really. Let's go this end. I feel like when it's wet on wet, you've got to almost place it down in a different way. Like dab it on. Yeah, it depends what you're wanting, I guess. Right, so we've got a sort of tealy. Oh, it's tealy, but it's not teal. Yeah, this is just sliding over here. Can you see that? That's hilarious. So what do we do in that sense? Let's have a look. Let me wash my brush. Do I then, like, keep it damp but take it off and then, oh, yes, there we go. Okay, I'm dripping all over stuff. That's rather frustrating. I'd like to, now that is travelling. I can see that travelling. I'm hoping this travels, if I'm honest. I'm going to add a bit more colour. Let's add some more colour here. I want to really, like, make this colour stand out. And it's really interesting how, oh, something's, must be a hair somewhere. Or it's dripping, I don't know. Let's see if this will, can you see that just flying off? That's weird. I didn't do that. Let me just blend that out a little bit. I don't know why it's done that. Right, I want it to, okay, you can move the colour. That's interesting, I like it. Okay, so, oh look, I dripped on there. Maybe I can use that to my advantage. Right, okay. No worries, let's drip. Let's do it. Come on, now you're not doing it? Is this, yeah. I want to create something that isn't yellow, but I didn't realise that it was going to have yellow in it, but it does. So there's a lot of water there. Let's tap that off a bit. Oh, look. So if you put water on and then use a dry brush to pull it off a bit, it takes the paint, it takes this paint with it a little bit. That looks kind of cute. Let's see if I can create something else, because I know what I want to do. Do that there. I'm just going to leave that on there like this. I'm just going to do a bit more here. Like this. Okay, I'm just going to leave that to do its thing. Because I've got some ideas. Look at the hairs all coming out. That's rather frustrating, isn't it? Right, so my idea is, oh, every time. I'm sorry, but there's somebody outside, that's why. He gets really frustrated with people outside. So you're just going to get doggy barks. Okay, he may go again, so apologies if he does. So let's take the dry brush and try and lift. It's definitely not doing what I would hope it would do. Maybe I've got to leave it a bit longer. No. It is doing it. I think I have to leave it a little bit longer for these over here. Yeah, it's worked there. I wonder why it worked there and nowhere else. Let me put the drips on again. Right. It was a proper sploosh. Right, let's leave that and see how we get on. So that's that one. I'm going to leave that to do its thing. And then on this one, oh, we're dry. Okay, so I want to add some saturated colour on the blue. I want to get this as dark as I possibly can. So I'm going to go over. I really want to get this dark. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. It's getting darker. Okay. This is so interesting. Like, if anybody's ever worked with watercolours before or not, how have you found them? Is it your favourite medium? It looks so pretty. I love the colours. They're very muted. Like, you couldn't get a strong colour out of it. It's not like gouache, which, by the way, I only found out how to pronounce gouache recently. If anybody else also was in that boat, how funny is it when you're going, is it gouache? Is it gouache? Everybody else is going, duh. Everyone knows it's gouache. Gouache. I feel like we can get that even darker. So let's have a look here. We've got some paint on here somehow, but that is dry. Let's use it to our advantage, eh? Right, so I'm going to put this down for a moment. I need some little thing to put my tools on. Let's get a little brush. We haven't used this little detailer. And let's create something. Should we create something? We should create something. Right. Let's get it wet and get into the... Let's go into this colour. What should we do? Like a little... What could we create? What could we do? That's not completely dry. So I need to maybe... Oh, shit. Oh, swap. Cut that out. Whoever's editing. That's me, and I'm not editing, so I apologise. Sugar is what I meant. Anyway, so nothing's quite dry yet. This one is almost dry, but it's not dry enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it, and then I'm going to come back to this. So I will see you when this is dry. Right, it's been 10 minutes. So I'm going to try and lift this. Oh, that's still damp. I'm going to try and lift. Hold on a minute. Ha ha! Hold on. Right. as I was saying, I'm going to try and lift the paint here. I'm just going to dry this off a bit. This is meant to be like a round tipped brush. There you go. So, oh, it does come off. It does. It very slightly comes off. I guess you really have to know what you're doing here. Yeah, it's not as much as I was hoping. Now, I've heard red is impossible to lift off, to erase. And I guess that's sort of what I was hoping for, was a bit of like cloudy texture maybe, she says. I mean, I haven't got a clue. I thought I had a clue. I thought this was a good idea. But I still think it might be a good idea. Let's just see if I can just do it manually. Not really. It was an idea that I thought I had. Maybe you're not supposed to let it dry. Maybe. Let's have a look here. I just really want to, that's it. Oh, well, hold on. Okay, so it looks like you don't need to leave it. I left it. It's only because that one did that. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. We seem to have, apart from this bottom bit here, it looks like the rest is dry. Fingers crossed it is. So let's start here. What am I going to draw? I don't know. Let's do a little... Oh my goodness, I have no idea. Let's do a little semicircle. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, let's... Gosh, I best not be doing another semicircle because we'll be in big trouble. I've already sworn on this channel. Can you imagine? I'll do another one, but not quite the same. Now I can see already that maybe we're a bit damp here. There you go. Nope, still looks rude. Well done, Leah. I mean, what was I thinking? So you do get a really good saturated colour once it's dry. Look at that. Okay. And now I've mixed the two, like, I don't know which one's my clean one and which one isn't. Going well. Why does it look so rude? Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. And I'm obviously much more wow. Okay. What am I doing here? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what I've done? Or what I'm doing, maybe? Does anybody know where I'm going with this? It's so funny. I know what I'm doing. Of course I know what I'm doing. I knew all along. You guys. Obviously, I'm drawing a mountain of some description. I mean, that isn't where I was going with it, but that's... I don't like that at all. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there, and then I think this is dry. It's still a little damp, but nonetheless, I've got some ideas. I have an idea. I should really have had some clean water, but never mind. Right, my idea is this. What contrasts with green? So this is my idea. I'm going to paint a little circle like this. this white really wet. I'm going to do a little white circle on top. What colour goes the opposite of green? Red. I don't really want to do red. Maybe I'll do yellow. It's going to have to be red. I've got like a magenta red. Right, I can sort of see the outline here. It may have been all right to do with just water, but I did it with the white because I want there to be some sort of colour here. Right, are we ready for this? This is learning what we learnt yesterday. Right, come on, Mrs. Red. Oh God, I'm actually scared. Okay. Okay, I feel like, oh, are you watching this move? I've gone a bit wet here. But that's okay. Right, so the idea is, I haven't executed it very well, but the idea is I want to create something that, okay, so that is now pooling there, which is not my favourite thing to have happened. But I'm gonna move this. Oh, this is nice. Let me get some more paint. Hello. Can anybody tell what it is yet? The white wasn't happy. That's so pretty. I love that because I know what it's going to be. So I'm just going to leave that to dry. Another thing left to dry. I love that. I love how that is like blending into things. Ooh, yeah, I like that. This, not so much. This, not so much at this point in time. This, I want to put more paint on. Right. So I'm going to get back to the blue. I really want to make this as dark as possible. No, it doesn't. Oh, if I added too much water, no. I just don't feel like the blue is as dark as I was wanting. And does anybody find their paints stiff? Like, I know you've got to add water to them, but they just seem to drink the water. This is getting darker, I suppose, but still not where I want it to be. Like, I want it to be, oh, I feel like I've put too much water on that now. Great. Here we go. And look at all the hairs coming off. That's so disappointing. I am disappointed that the hairs are coming off. I don't think that's my fault either. Can anybody tell me if it's my fault? Maybe it's my fault. Oh, come on. Really? Yeah, okay. We're going to have to go with hairs on the canvas. It's just going to have to be that. Apparently that's my thing. Hair on canvas. That's what we're going to call this piece of art. Art. This isn't art. This is very much me being a kid again in some sort of fashion. This is quite dry, so I'm just going to pick that up a bit. That's better. There you go. Right, so how are we getting on with this one? It's still wet. It's still wet. This is going to be a problem because I feel like it doesn't dry quickly. So we may have to have a part 2 of this video. That's what we're going to do because otherwise it's going to be too long. So this is where we've got to. So we've done a bit of shading. We've done, I really like this one, right? This one so far is my favourite. This, I had an idea, the idea is leaving me. And then this one, they're all still wet. Big problem. I've also noticed that when you put masking tape or washi tape down, it balloons underneath. Now, I don't know whether that's the quality of my paper or because I am literally using it too wet. You tell me. I don't know the answer to that question. So yeah, that's me stopped for this video. If you have enjoyed this first part, let me know. Let me know what you think I could create out of this one. I am going to carry on, but I'd like to see your opinions. If you love watercolours, if there's a certain person I should be watching, let me know that as well, because I'd be really interested to know. Thank you so much for joining me and joining my journey. It's exciting. I don't know whether you can tell I'm like a little child when it comes to painting. I hope you've enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Subscribe if you haven't already and if you want to. And I'll see you in the next part and then again in the next video. Bye, guys.